All right, Kaylee, so your 12-year-old is growing up way too fast, and you don't know how to pump the brakes on it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting almost as tall as me.
Yeah, man.
He's just non-stop growing.
I've been watching the videos your wife is posting of all your kids, man. Athletes, aggressive athletes.
They're doing really well. And he's now, because he's just these growth spurts. Mm-hmm. So when baseball started, like the power that he's got now he's like out of that gangly. I mean, he's still skinny. I mean, and he's cut, but he's like getting to know his like new body essentially. And I mean, his speed, you're like, who is this kid? Like, where did he come from? Now, that being said, he's starting to try to really push the boundaries of these newfound freedoms that we kind of start to, let him do.
Like which ones?
Well, just like what he can watch. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm not putting as much of a regulator on that because, like I let him watch Squid Games and he like goes down to the basement and he like binges those series.
Mm-hmm. How old is he again?
12.
Okay.
But he knows it's not.
Yeah.
He knows the difference between doing something like that.
No. Of course, but like Squid Games is that's intense.
I would rather him watch people getting their head blown off than watch a sex scene.
Okay, noted. Okay,
yeah, I mean, like literally, because that's just I don't know. It's more awkward to me.
It's a very American way of thinking.
Yeah. Anyway, so he pushed some boundaries the other day by walking to Publix, which there's really no safe path to get.
By himself?
No, with a group of his friends. Like, he didn't do it.
I remember the first time I was allowed to walk somewhere by myself, and it's a big deal.
Well, and he told me that they were thinking about doing it and days before, and I didn't necessarily say no. Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to see, because he probably would do it anyway.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with my kid when he was 12, 13 years old, as long as they were together, like in a group, walking, whatever it was, quarter of a mile, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that it's that far. It's just there's really, Atlanta Highway here is just kind of, it could be people are speeding and it's, anyway, but I try not to overthink it because I think he's responsible. The other night, him and his friends wanted to watch the eclipse. I think that was this past weekend or something.
It was a full moon.
Yeah, or something like whatever it was. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I didn't see it. Well, they wanted to camp out in his friend's backyard, which that led me to believe, well, okay, you're camping out in the backyard. Are you going to stay on property?
No.
Now, at 12 years old, I wouldn't be on property. I don't even know where we would be exploring.
Right.
Which, and when I was more probably of a punk kid than him. So I was probably doing some things that I probably shouldn't have been doing, vandalizing, things like that, criminal type behavior. But it's like, and Aaron and I are looking at each other like, was he going to stay on the property? But those were some of the funnest times that I can almost remember, like with your boys, For
sure.
And at about 1 a.m., we get a text message. So the kid's house he was staying at was across this like gulch. It's like this river, this huge creek to another neighbor's house that's at the other end of the neighborhood. And we know those people. And I guess the mom heard these kids being very loud and obnoxious at like 1 a.m. And so she has to yell across the creek. And she thought it was the high school kids that were next door to where my son was staying. And she goes, "Hey, guys, can you keep it down?" And their response was, "You want to come to our booby party?"
What?
All right.
Okay. What's a booby party?
They didn't use those words.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But
still.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that changes much.
They use the T word?
Yes.
Okay.
But and
That's such a preteen thing to yell.
no, exactly.
I mean, what is a strip club?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That's a shoe show.
I'm just going to rebrand it.
Yeah. And so Aaron and I, I was just wondering how you dealt with that, with certain things, because it's like, now I don't know if they went off property, but I'm sure they did.
Well, I would have more of a problem with the disrespectful response than I would.
We talked to him
going
about
out
that.
of it. Was he the one that said it, or was somebody else?
No, it was his friend.
Yeah.
But the mom who texted us thought it was the funniest thing. But she didn't let them know that. She actually didn't even respond to the statement.
So I feel like I know where you're coming. And Hollis and I had, I've never had to worry about Hayden. He's so within the lines, man. He's terrified to do anything wrong. So much so that there was a secret wish inside of me, like when he was in high school, he would get into some small trouble just so we had some memories, right? Hollis, not a problem. Him finding problems or trouble is not a problem. But we discussed this a while ago, and I want him to have a good time. And I said to him, yellow cards, using language he understands as a soccer player, yellow cards are okay. Red cards are what we're avoiding. So if he's going out and he's creating some kind of mischief and they're having a good time, but it's a little bit out of bounds, I'm pretty liberal about that kind of stuff. It doesn't sound like they did anything dangerous here, depending on how fast that river was. So long as they're not doing anything dangerous, I tell them, go and have a good time. And just if you're going to get yellow cards, get yellow cards. But red cards, man, like a DUI, that's a red card. Impregnating somebody, that's a double red. So I have sort of given him more freedom. And Stacy and I have had the philosophy that give them the freedom and then
pull it back
if they need to.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if that's a philosophy you want to go with, but it seemed to have worked pretty well, and he hasn't gotten any red cards.
Well, that's good.
But a bunch of yellows. A whole bunch of yellows.
The Bert Show.